And so to bed, establishing healthy sleep habits in young children. Hello, we are the Child Development Team and are part of the Children's Public Health Team, which incorporates health visiting and school nursing. The objectives of this session are to understand the importance of sleep and normal sleep expectations between the ages of 0 and 7 years, to prepare for good sleep routines, and to learn methods of sleep training when sleep routines are disrupted.
Why is good sleep so vital? All of our body functions have vital functions, and as we spend about a third of our lives sleeping, it is clear this must be pretty important. We know that we still have a lot to learn about the functions of sleep. Sleep helps with brain development. It also allows our brains to consolidate what we have learnt and experienced in the day, consigning it to our long-term memory. Our bodies are too busy in the daytime to do this. Growth hormone is released. Restore and rejuvenate to grow and rest muscle, repair tissue and symphonize hormones. Strengthening the immune system. A good night's sleep stabilizes our mood. Sleep expectations. How much sleep do we need? We are not all the same and there will be differences. These are just averages. 6 months. This is the age that babies can go into their own rooms. They need approximately 11 hours at night with day naps totaling 3.5 hours. 1 year. 10 to 12 hours at night and 2 day naps around 1 to 2.5 hours each. Babies should stop nighttime feeding by 1 year old, usually much earlier with bottle-fed babies. 18 months. 10 to 12 hours at night, 1 to 2 hour day nap. 3 to 5 years sleep requirements and need early day nap, not late. Nap times. After 3 p.m. it is best to limit any naps to 45 minutes, which is roughly a sleep cycle, so that the nighttime routine is not delayed beyond the regular time. It may mean avoiding long car journeys after this time also, as children love to fall asleep in the car. Older children. 5 years, 9 to 11 hours. 10 years, 9 to 10 hours. 15 years, 9 hours, but the pattern changes to late night sleeping with late rising. This is helpful and normal for brain development. Adult, 7 to 9 hours.
Sleep cycle. The stages of sleep are generally categorized into light sleep, REM sleep, which is also known as active or dream sleep, and deep sleep, and this is also known as quiet or restorative sleep. It takes 20 minutes for a child to reach a deep sleep phase. A sleep cycle is about 90 minutes long. However, under the age of 9 months, it is about 50 minutes long. Initially, more time is spent in deep sleep. Then there is more REM sleep as the night progresses, which can increase the chance of waking at these times. The hypnogram on the next page shows peaks when a child is in light sleep and may fidget, cry a little, etc., but they are not fully awake. Going to the child immediately may waken them when they would fall back to sleep on their own if left. This hypnogram shows the different stages of sleep, and it also shows the peaks when a child is more likely to waken. You will notice that as the night goes on, there is an increase in the REM sleep. Wind down time. From 4 months, babies can start getting used to a bedtime routine, and the following advice will help to establish a healthy one. No TV or any other technology for an hour before bed, as the blue light emitted from these suppresses the sleep hormone melatonin. This advice applies to us all regardless of our age. Research has shown that children that use technology before bed are likely to take longer to fall asleep, have a poorer quality of sleep, and this will result in tiredness the next day. A bath can be relaxing and help us feel sleepy. If a bath is given, it should last no longer than 5 minutes, as this is when the optimum melatonin level is achieved. Any more and the baby will take longer to get to sleep and may become wakeful. No toys in the bath, as this is not a time for active fun play, and playful baths can take place at any other time in the day. Ideally, a final feed should be given downstairs. The baby needs to stop associating the bedroom with feeds and relying on a feed to get to sleep. You may find that a calm, quiet activity with older children will help them to settle. Activities such as saying goodnight to all the toys or teddies, or a shared book. Some books are designed to help with bedtime, for example, Goodnight Moon, Can't You Sleep Little Bear, and Goodnight Digger. Finish with the same nightly phrase such as night night, sleep tight, off to sleepy byes now, or you may sing a song before this, for example, Rock-a-Bye Baby, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Starlight, Star Bright, or simply make up your own very short song that can be centered around the baby. It just needs to be quiet, gentle and repetitive. Keeping it short means you can repeat it several times and babies feel more secure as they quickly become familiar with it. Babies and children will not notice if you don't have the X factor, they just love you to sing. Next, place baby in the cot. It can be helpful to wait until baby is drowsy if there have been difficulties with this stage.
Sleep associations. A sleep association is something that we associate with going to sleep. For an adult, it may be reading, putting on an eye mask, or going on your mobile phone. With babies, it might be rocking, patting, singing, a dummy, or feeding them to sleep. Therefore, they are not fully self-soothing. Some sleep associations can be helpful, like patting and singing and using a dummy, but others are not so, and do not let the child fall deep into a sleep. They could even tie you to being with the child. If you are feeding to sleep, this would happen. Sleep associations continued. Make sure any associations are not likely to be outgrown for a good while, and that they are safe, portable, washable and replaceable. I'm sure we've all seen social media pleas for lost snuggles. A safe cot is a bare cot with no soft toys under the age of 7 months.
When about sleep, the environment is very important. We need to consider if the environment is right to induce and prolong sleep. Think about blackout curtains as a possibility. Whereabouts is your baby's bedroom located in your house? If at the front of your house there is a busy road, perhaps consider moving them to the back bedroom, or vice versa if, for example, you have a railway line at the back of your house. Room temperature should ideally be around 18 degrees Celsius. And the layout of the room is important. Try and make sure that the cot is away from a window, that it's not next to a radiator, and that it's not near to things that can be grabbed to help your child climb out of the cot, etc. We do not recommend the use of night lights in a baby's bedroom. We also would not recommend any TV for an hour before bedtime. This includes other screens such as mobile phones or iPads. No noisy toys in the cot ideally, as these can be distracting for children. From 12 months, some babies settle in a bed than a cot. If you are considering doing this, just ensure that there is a safety gate at the top of the stairs or that the door handle cannot be reached. Go around the room on your hands and knees, and this will enable you to see safety and danger from your child's view.
Approaches to crying babies who will not self-settle. First rule, choose a time when your routine is going to be stable, when you will be at home and maybe your partner or some help will be there to help you also. The choice of approach is really more about your needs than baby's needs. Once started, try and stick with it or you'll make things far worse. Depending on your child's age and several other factors, Changing a sleep pattern may take 3 days or 3 months. Preparation. Before you start, make sure you are well and that you feel strong enough to be committed to whichever approach you take. If now is not the right time, that's okay. Get a couple of good night's sleeps yourself first if possible. If your child is unwell, abandon the programme. Sleep training. There are various methods. Gradual retreat. Settling baby using familiar phrases, songs and gradually withdrawing from the room. Initially, baby will cry as soon as you put them in the cot. Pick them up and calm them. Say your familiar bedtime phrase, putting them back. This is repeated dozens of times, but should reduce steadily over a few days.
Variations with sleep training. The following is a slower approach to sleep training which you may feel suits you and your baby better. Put baby down and continue to keep a hand on him or her, patting gently. When baby appears to be calming, slowly stop patting. Remove your hand, but put it beside them while still touching them. After a while, take your hand away and just sit beside the cot. Next, move the chair a bit away from the cot. Gradually move away until you've retreated out of the room and can close the door. With some babies, it has to be very tiny steps. With a toddler, you could both hold one of Teddy's paws each, then you can let go after a while. If at any point baby gets distressed, then calm them, put them back in the cot and go back to the stage before the one you were on.
Gentle protest crying approach. This is not recommended before 6 months. Carry out bedtime routine as already explained. Placing baby in the cot, saying goodnight and leaving the room. Leave for 15 seconds, less if you find this too distressing. Return, resettle and leave the room again. Return after 30 seconds. Continue increasing the time listening to baby's cry. Is it a protest cry or is it a distressed emotional? Once you get to 5 minutes, return every 5 minutes until they are quiet or asleep. Baby may go quiet and then start to cry again, in which case start from the beginning again. Try to avoid taking baby out of the cot. Avoid eye contact and use minimal speech. This method will not suit everyone. Adaptations. Your approach may be adapted to suit you and your baby and the situation. If you are living in a flat or with other toddlers and children, usually this means you take a gentle, slower approach, but not always. This depends on the child's age and understanding. Whichever method you use, you must be consistent. Other caregivers must also follow the chosen approach. You may have heard of controlled crying method. This is distressing for baby and mum. It raises cortisol levels and is not evidence-based. We work hard on attachment in the early months and the need for our babies to feel secure, safe and content, and this is just as important at bedtime as at any other time.
Older children. For children that have difficulty settling at the start of the night, a pictorial routine board can be very helpful. All humans need routines of some kind and some more than others. Children in particular need routines to feel secure in knowing what is expected of them. In addition, it makes them feel cared for. A child without routines and boundaries will often feel that no one cares what they do. Visual charts allow the child to be in control and it keeps the routine fun. This is an example of a pictorial routine board that will help a child learn a bedtime routine. As you'll see, there are pictures for each stage of the routine that initially start under the to-do title attached by Velcro. As each step is completed, the child then moves that picture to under the title Done. You will notice there is one picture that says Talk Time. If you include a little time for talking, then that must be limited as well. So for example, you might say, we have 5 minutes talk time and set a little timer on your phone. All of these help the children to understand what is expected of them. The sleep fairy can be useful, especially for nighttime waking. She watches and leaves notes by a parent's bed about how well the child has slept that night. Then, if it was a good night, a sticker is left for the child to add to a reward chart or something similar. If the child doesn't sleep well, then it is merely commented on, but not negatively. You didn't sleep so well last night. I'm sure tonight will be better. As children get older, they can increasingly be reasoned with. Try not to be angry. You might explain that if they do not sleep well, then you will all be too tired to go out the next day. But be prepared to spend the next day in your PJs or omit a favourite activity. Comment in a matter-of-fact manner that it is a shame, but you're all just simply too tired. Here are some additional sources of help. Our local Home Start team are familiar with the contents of this presentation and are happy to support you with the advice given. The following websites also offer additional useful advice and guidance. Before you go, we hope this presentation is useful to you. Please try the strategies consistently along with other carers. These will take time to be effective and change will not be immediate. If you need further support after 3 months of trying these approaches, please ring the Duty Health Visitor number on 0300 123 3444, 0300 123 3444.